Our mission extends not only to patients and fellow employees, but also to the broader communities we call home. Throughout 2025, employees across the company were involved in community outreach projects that improve the lives of people globally. Our Salt Lake City facility has had the privilege of partnering with Tiny Tim's Foundation for Kids for over 20 years. Emily Johnson, Executive Director of Tiny Tim's, explains how the toy cars they build improve the lives of millions of children around the world.
So my grandparents are the ones who started Tiny Tim's. We started, in the medical field helping people. My grandma worked for an ophthalmologist, and they would go down and collected eyeglasses and then take them with the group down into Mexico. Once or twice a year, they'd go with the same group. So they just kind of started in a, humanitarian way like this. And then we would go at Christmas time and took a whole bunch of stuff to help alleviate, taking something they need for Christmas, make sure everybody had a Merry Christmas. I was on one of those trips for Christmas that my grandma had a toy that somebody else had made very similar. And she passed it out to a little girl, and she watched as this little girl played still with Troya. She just slowly made each of the wheels go, and then she rubbed it across her tummy, and he would tell this story a million times. And this girl, and she smiled it and hugged, and this was her toy. And the parent said, yeah, it's her only toy, that's all she's got. She's never been given one because every last penny goes to buy food or clothing or something. And so my grandparents watched that, and they said, we've got to make toys. We've got to make sure that toys come to these kids. And so they started making them, and grandkids in the garage just made a few for us to take down every year at Christmas time for $400 a year. But then pretty soon people heard about it, and they said, I want some too. I've seen these, there's kids all over that eat them, not just in Mexico. And if I help you make some, can I take some too? And then we had a good group of about 15 and 20 people, and now we've got 80 people who come on a regular basis. There are 500 million children in the world who've never had a toy, and so we made 1.8 million so far. So it's a dent in the 500 million. But for all these children, but they're also made by people who have so much to give and just need a place to be able to get that. We have the best people here who are of the same heart. And so it impacts all of us to be able to give and to do something for somebody else.
My name is Sherry Elmendhoon, and I travel from Lehigh to come up and volunteer here a couple of times a week. So our first day was October of 2021. So we've been volunteering about 4 years, just over 4 years now. And it feels like our Tiny Tim's family. I have an adult son with autism that I bring on Fridays who loves vacuuming. While he's vacuuming the main lobby, I am the janitorial crew. I clean the bathrooms and clean the kitchen area and clean all of that on Fridays. On Tuesdays when I come alone, I visit with my friends and paint in the paint room upstairs.
I have been helping them from the very first Eagle Scout projects that they started doing, and loved being a part of it. Some of the first fundraisers I did with as I went to college, and I got whole groups of college students that you do fundraisers, you take groups down to Mexico every Christmas for several years while I was in college. And then after college, my grandpa just, needed help with this. I was, in school and could help him with, writing grant letters to certain people and help him do his taxes and, various things as he was kind of transitioning things and needed someone to take over. And he would tell people this story of my being in Mexico. And he was like, that's how I know she's ready and can do this. On one of our Mexico trips while I was in college, I didn't have a lot of money in college, right? But I knew I had more than they had. And it was our last day on our trip down there. And, we were kind of just emptying the trailer of whatever we had to, houses as we passed through the small villages. And this one place we stopped, there was a woman and 5 little kids there, and we tried to outfit everybody with something. In the middle of December, this poor woman didn't have anything on her feet, and there were no more shoes in the trailer, and her shoes are my size. So I left my shoes there, and that has really shaped me. I hadn't forgotten that people have so little, and we're very blessed, and we have so much. And so what can we give down to our very last thing? And when I heard my grandpa tell other people that story, that he knew that was part of who I was, we have the same heart, right? Sorry.
just to see the efforts and where things have gone, the cars have gone, and the purpose of what we're doing, the humanitarian effort, and putting smiles, joy on faces of children throughout the world. We do meet friends, we meet other volunteers, we meet, people that are participating in the organization that enhance our lives. And it gives us all a sense of purpose and know that we're doing better. So, yeah, we wouldn't miss it.
The partnerships we have with people that help supply these things for us is just invaluable. I was here in the beginning when we were making the wheels out of wood, and we had these, little blocks that my grandpa had made and hammers that grandpa had made. The wooden wheels, they would crack after a while. They just aren't as durable and didn't last. And so he had this idea, and we go to the College of Engineering at BYU, and they help make a mold. Ever since we took that mold to Biomerix, they've been providing the wheels for us, and we haven't had to buy them in 20 years because of that. And they're durable, they last.
So I am Monica Prescott, and I have worked for Biomerix for 3.5 years. So my involvement over the last 1.5 years with Tiny Tim has been very positive. Emily's come in to pick up the deliveries, and I've been able to personally meet her, and it's always been great. So when we produce the Tiny Tim wheels, we utilize the scrap material that's been produced off of some of the other molding machines. The scrap material is collected, then it is put into a grinder. We grind it into pellets, and then it's loaded into the hopper. It's then molded into the wheels through the molding machine. Working for Biomerix and knowing that we're partnering with the community and a foundation like Tiny Tim, it makes me feel proud. Proud to know that we're saving lives in the medical devices that we produce, and that we're also contributing to the community. I think the relationship that Biomerix has with Tiny Tim also demonstrates our company values and shows that we care.
None of this could happen if we didn't have partnerships like that. They are 100% a part of this whole process of making these little toy cars, and I hope they know how much we love and appreciate them, because it's all of us. We're just the catalyst that puts the whole thing together. But without all of that, we couldn't afford to do that, and we couldn't keep everyone busy and happy and put so much joy in the world.